Hi, I'm Chris.
And I'm Anna.
We're the Hutchinsons.
We own Hutchinson Maple Products in Lake Paul, Nova Scotia, and we're the largest certified organic maple producers in the province of Nova Scotia.
For over 21 years on the road, running a successful trucking business, we've had quite a journey that has taken us home here to Hutchinson Acres.
This is our story.
In Lake Paul, Nova Scotia, sits Hutchinson Acres, a certified organic maple syrup producer owned by Chris and Anna Hutchinson. However, their story doesn't begin here, but on the road. Chris was a truck driver when he and Anna first met.
One year, Chris took off and decided to go trucking on his own. And he was gone for long periods of time. We didn't see each other very much.
A situation hard for any couple. However, Chris had a way to remedy that.
One day he came home and he said to me, why don't you come trucking with me? And I thought, well, this is a little bit crazy. I mean, I have no experience driving. I only drive my little car. I can't imagine myself driving a big truck. And he said, no, I'll teach you everything you need to know. He said, just have to get your air brakes endorsement. He said, in order to drive a truck. And he said, we could do it as a career. One day I told my parents and I said, I'm going to drive a truck with Chris. I think they really thought I was losing my mind because that was no women became truck drivers. This was now 25 years ago. So then one day we decided to do it. We had a company that was willing to take us on together as a team and got my air brakes endorsement, and we went out and we started driving a truck.
It's a different type of lifestyle. We were gone for sometimes 2 years at a time. That we never left the truck. We didn't have a house to go to. There wasn't enough time. We drove 10,000 plus kilometers every week. And on a customer side of things, 40 to 50 customers that had to be picked up and delivered every single week made for a very busy week.
Right from day one, I truly enjoyed the job. I loved driving, I loved seeing the country, I loved meeting new people, I loved the experience of going into people's businesses, learning about how things were made. It was so interesting to me, and just being out there and just different things, seeing things that people have never seen before.
But life on the road isn't easy.
Being a woman on the road, it was difficult. There were challenges to that. Going to the bathroom, simple little things that nobody expects, like you have to know exactly where you can stop at all times. People still today would ask me, well, where did you shower? And I'd be like, well, in the truck stops, where do you think we would shower? Just because no one understands what that life was like. I loved it, I truly enjoyed it, and I met a huge amount of amazing people on our journey. It was an experience I will never regret, and we learned so much from doing that.
Being into 2,000 businesses a year, you saw how other businesses were run, some good, some bad. A lot of interesting things on how things are made. It's a real eye-opener and a learning experience to do this.
21 years on the road and running their own business and interacting with clients internationally prepared them for their next journey.
It was time for us to actually have a home. It was time for us to put our feet down and be able to go into your house at night. I would always drive by people's homes as I was in the trucking business, and I'd wonder, oh, what are they watching on TV? What are they doing in the evening? We never had that. We were gone all the time. And it was time to just say, okay, it's time for us now.
Hutchinson Acres was born. They purchased the homestead that was once a sawmill in 2003, while still on the road, and restored it to the beautiful home they have today.
At first, when we purchased the land, we were still on the road. We had bought a small cottage at Lake George, and that's kind of where our home base was for a little while. We came back and forth to that. We loved that little piece of heaven that we had, especially in the wintertime when it was really quiet. But then we knew at some point we were going to need a house to live in. That was not going to be big enough for us. And we came from living in a small truck, so we didn't need anything really huge or exorbitant, but we still needed a place to call home. And so when it came to buying this house, we looked at it and we said, you know, that's a big house, but you know what? We can do what we want with it. We can make it our own home. A lot of what's in this house we have brought from all different places around the country and the US. The redwood came from California. The stone came from a different place. I found the hardware in Kentucky. Everything came from somewhere. So every time I look at something that's in this home, I can say, that's where I got that. My rug hanging on the wall is an alpaca rug that I got in Kalispell, Montana. I carried it for years with me and finally took it home, put it in a safe place and said, someday I want to have a wall that I can hang this on. And every little piece of this house is from our 21 years on the road.
They finally had a place to call home and put down roots. Roots that grew into what is now Hutchinson Acres Maple Products.
When we first started thinking about what we were going to do, we knew we had a couple of blocks of maple on the farm here, and I thought at the time it would be nice to have it as a hobby. When I first started, it never envisioned it was going to turn into what it is today.
I think at first we kind of thought this is our retirement, this is going to be a great place for Chris to go out in the woods and tap a few trees and have a great time out there, and maybe we'll sell a little of it locally, we'd do some farm markets, that sort of thing. It really blossomed into something that has become a full-time job for both of us. It wasn't intended upon being that way. I think we thought when we finally did come home from being off the road that we would be a little more relaxed, a little more retirement, you know, still do a few hobby things. We don't want to stop doing work. We both love to work. We both have a lot of energy. So we knew we had to do something, and it just turned out that kind of fell into our lap. So we've just grown it from there.
Next week on Hutchinson Acres, it was time to learn the maple syrup business.
I jumped into the fire because I had absolutely no history with maple syrup whatsoever.
And it was time to come off the road as Hutchinson Maple Products quickly expanded.
We approached the Crown about leasing that property.